Are we rolling? Hi everyone, hello, my name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface. Welcome to today's video. So a little bit of housekeeping first before we dive into the contents of the video. As most of you know, if you're regulars here, I have recently become a parent. In fact, you might hear my son playing in the background. But yes, it does mean that my schedule is all over the place. So I put this to my patrons recently and said, would you prefer the regular videos that I do, that being 2 a week and really getting the content out there, or would you prefer I spend more time doing more in-depth projects and do less frequent videos? And people said less frequent but more in-depth. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing on the channel. Now this doesn't count for things like Scrawlrbox, which is today's video. Of course, we've got our Scrawlrbox, we need to unbox this one. But in general, the kind of project videos, there'll be a little bit more gap and space between them. They won't be as regular, but hopefully much better content. But don't worry, I've not stopped doing art. As you can see, I've been doing lots of wildlife painting in the background here. I've got 2 finished and 3 on the go at the moment. So still finding time whilst the baby is sleeping to come and do some painting. So I'm kind of finding my own schedule and rhythm and settling back into everything. And get back into everything. I mean, just talking in the camera like this, it's weird. It feels strange, but it'll all come back to me. It's fine, we'll get into it. Anyway, today, yes, Scrawlrbox. So Scrawlrbox unboxing for today with the Scrawlrboxes. Yes, I haven't done last month's yet. I also haven't done the August challenge yet. The September challenge I was away for and didn't unbox the video for that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to unbox this video, and then I may make an additional video in the next couple of weeks where I go through each of the challenges and I will try out all of the supplies that we've kind of accumulated to now do a big bumper Scrawler challenge video. But for now, we have a fresh new Scrawlrbox to open. So let's get the overhead camera set up and we'll crack this open and see what Scrawlrbox have got in store for us this month. Right, okay, here we are. So Scrawlrbox, a monthly art subscription box where the contents of the box outweigh the cost of the box itself. No, I'm not sponsored. No, I'm not affiliated with, but I've been opening these for a long time. I actually really enjoy it. It's just a fun thing to do every month. All of these supplies inside have been curated by an artist or designer, so they go together and work well. And of course we get things like our sweet, our sticker, our scrawlerzine, all of that good stuff. So without further ado, let's crack into this one. There we go. And let's open up and ooh, okay, right. We've got our scrawlerzine. I'm going to put that to the side. Oh, that feels quite thick. Going to put that to the side at the moment. We'll come back to that. We've got a piece of artwork. I can get it out of the box. Here we go. So this is a piece of artwork from Carolina. We do have some socials there. There we go. Go and check them out. As I always say, go and check out fellow artists and give them the support that they need. That is really sweet. It's really sweet. It's like a galactic space whale. We've got some watercolour paper. Okay, so 10 sheets, 200 GSM, the Scrawlrbox watercolour. And then we have our supplies. I already see a tube of something in here poking out down the bottom here. But let's have a little look at what we have. Oh, okay, so more of a limited one this time. We've got our sticker, we've got our sweet, which is a Chopper Chumps cherry stick. I'll check whether this is vegetarian or vegan in the scrawlerzine. They always put it in there. And then we've got 3 colours. We've got our primaries, or kind of old primaries, not the new primaries of cyan and magenta. We have Prussian blue, permanent alizarin crimson, and permanent yellow deep. And these are their gouache paints. So we've got a gouache set this time. It doesn't feel, hold on a second. It doesn't feel like a huge amount. We've got a cat tongue brush as well. Number 8, I can't remember where we've had the number 8 cat tongue in Scrawlrbox before. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a huge amount, but I do know that these designer gouache, the Winsor & Newton ones, can be a little bit expensive. So let's have a little look in the Scrawlzine and see what it says, because there isn't really much to say about these three here. Yeah, we've got 3 tubes of paint and a brush. Let's have a look in here. So custom colours, yeah, perfect for mixing, equally striking on their own. Artistic print, sweet treat. Doesn't have the vegetarian vegan symbol on it, so I'm guessing that this is not vegetarian friendly. It's probably got some kind of gelatin in there. Yep, I see that gelatin, so I won't be having that as I am a vegetarian. Right, it does say scan QR code for prices. Let's have a little look. Okay, so I'm not sure how clear this is to see on here, but it does say the RRP of each of these is £6.95 per tube. It also says that the brush is recommended retail £4.49 and the paper £3.49. So even just with the tubes, that comes to a little under £21. So not bad. It's not bad at all. It just seems light, and I know there will be people out there complaining about the lack of supplies in here, but these are, you know, they're 14 mils. They're not insubstantial. That's a good amount of paint in there, and they're gouache. I mean, yeah. Okay, so we've got a little bit about Carolina here and some other artworks. It's a lovely style that she has. We're talking about swatching here. We will be doing some of that in just a moment. We've got a deep dive into layering, leafy layers. That's one thing I do love about gouache, is that you can layer up no matter what the colour. You've got a massive amount of opacity with them. So we're a little bit behind the artwork. And then this is Scrawlrbox 109 Amoeba. This is the September box that I didn't open on camera. And we've got some lovely pieces in here. Let's just have a quick look. Kitty Darkstar, I know, but they're all very interesting. I really like this one. Bit of a SpongeBob reference in there. And then our top 3, Catherine Pridmore, who I feel like I know, Abby Robinson, and Mouldy Tangerine. I'm all for a good name like that. And then we've got a little bit of the history of Winsor & Newton, obviously with the Winsor & Newton paints. Spot the difference, gouache, acrylic, watercolour. So a little bit about what acrylic and gouache and watercolour are and the differences between them. Oh, okay, Scrawlrbox 101, the Scrawler Challenge, Mythical Monsters. Now this is right up my alley. I love weird things, I love monsters, and I love wildlife art, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, one thing I probably will do with this box that it hasn't come, and of course people will either complain that they don't get it or complain that they do get too many, but pencils. So I actually have a Scrawler Blanks pencil here. I will probably use a pencil in the finished artwork just so that I can actually sketch out my idea and know what I'm doing, but that will be a separate video, of course, where we do that challenge. Right now, though, we need to test these out. This is going to be a very short video because we've only got these 3 paints to test. But bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to go and get some water and I will be right back. Okay, so when I said get water, of course I meant get water for painting, not water for myself. I always have a lovely cup of tea. That is a good cup of tea. Right, let's get into these paints. So, 14 mil on each. It has pigment number and light fastness on each of them, so you can see the blue is much more light fast than the crimson and the yellow, but that's generally the way with these pigments anyway. Let's have a little look inside. Okay, I'm just going to dab a little bit of each paint down here like this. The blue is a little bit watery, but it does happen with most paints in tubes that you get a little bit of pigment and binder separation. The yellow and the red, lovely, creamy, smooth paints. So, of course, the reason we've been given these is these are the classic primaries. I say classic primaries because the new primaries are cyan, yellow and magenta, but these are classic primaries. So, let's go in. In fact, I've just wet the brush so that I can loosen the bristles, but I'm going to dry it. We're going to do a bit of dry brushing with this paint because you get, can you see there, we get wonderful coverage, wonderful opacity with these paints. That's one thing I really like about gouache. And actually I've become a recent convert to gouache paints. I really enjoy using them. They really work for the style of painting that I like doing. I think we'll be seeing some more gouache paintings in the future. This is so dark. It's such a gorgeous colour. It's almost black, which we can use to our advantage. Let's clean this one off as well. And then let's do the crimson. And again, just wonderful coverage. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is add some water to the mix. So let's bring some water down. And you can see here we get much more transparency. Now this is where we go into watercolor world. So it goes on nice and thick like acrylic, but then it can be watered down like watercolor. So it really is an amazingly versatile and unique way of painting. And I do, yeah, it's just so much fun to use. And it works on lots of different surfaces as well. You don't just have to use watercolor paper. You can use canvases, you can use all sorts with gouache. And let's do the red as well. These are really lovely, classic, vibrant colours. What I kind of want to do, and I am going to leave little blobs here to dry so you can see you get some 3D effect as well. We'll see that when we come back in our next video. But what I'm going to do is a classic colour wheel. So I'm going to do yellow. I'm going to do blue. Here we go. Let's do a red. Now I am going to do this with just a little bit of water. I'm going to mix this around here and also up here. Now the yellow, because it's a lighter colour, I'm going to spread this out this way as well. Because yellow is a lighter colour, it will get overwhelmed by the others very quickly. Very, very quickly. So let's go into now the blue, and I'm just going to take the smallest amount. Do you see what I mean? It gets overwhelmed really, really quickly. But there we have green. Classic colours. And let's spread out just a little bit of this blue by itself. And then we're going to come blue this way as well, just a little bit. And now to the red. And again, so easy to overwhelm the yellow. You see, actually, with these particular pigments, you get quite an autumnal tone. The green's quite autumnal, this orange is quite autumnal. There's a lot of brown hues in this, which let's try and use that to our advantage when we do our piece of artwork. So let's bring the red out this way. And now let's mix some red and some blue together. And we're going to get just the most gorgeous violet tone. Look at that. And it's lovely. So I'm going to let that dry because that is basically going to be our colour reference when we come to doing our full piece, because we've got our yellow, we've got our blue, we've got our red, and these are the secondary colours that they make. What we could do is mix them all together, see what our brown would be. That would be our tertiary tone. So that's the lovely purple there. And then let's get some yellow. In fact, I can take some yellow from up here. They all have slightly different thicknesses as well. Okay, and that's the brown that we get as a tertiary. That's quite a burnt umbery brown. So in fact, with just those three colours, we have a huge amount that we would be able to do. So in reality, I'm not that disappointed with this box. I'm actually liking this a lot. I think there's a lot that can be done with these sets of colours and these particular materials. The paper is also holding up pretty well because with gouache you don't have to overload it with water, which is really nice. But I am so intrigued as to what you guys are going to make of this, because I know that when you get a very limited palette, but the supplies are a little bit more expensive, a little bit more professional, then it always mixes opinion. We always get people saying, oh, there's not enough there, and others saying, well, actually, the supplies are excellent. And yeah, I want to know what you guys think. So do leave a comment down below. If you've had this box, I want to know what you thought of them in use. If you haven't, is this a box that you would be happy to pay for and play with, knowing that you have these three colours of this supply? The brush, by the way, is lovely. I do love a cat tongue brush. They give really nice effects, really nice strokes when you use it, so that's really nice. Paper really good. Sweet is a miss for me and for Andrew, who's also a vegetarian, so I don't know, I'll take that to play group or something when we take our son down there and see if anyone wants it there. But I said this was going to be a short video, and that's the end of it for today. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. Your support really does help out the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos like the Scrawler challenges that will all be coming up very soon. As always, I really hope you've enjoyed yourself, and until next time, goodbye.